Alright, you guys, welcome back to another match play for you. Today's going to be a round 3 matchup. It's going to be Blaine's Last Resort versus Jumpluff. Winner will move on to the final 8. The more and more we play Jumpluff, the more and more we realize that this deck is absolutely bonkers. One of the best decks in the format. I think it has firmly cemented its spot as a top 8 deck. Just every time that we do our rankings, it's going to be right up there. So, and then Blaine's Last Resort, and a big surprise. We thought this deck was going to be mediocre at best, but it is actually fairly good. And every time that I play with it, I find myself in just enjoying it a whole bunch more. So, but the way this matchup's going to go is really just trying to do that non-EX prize trade. That's the big draw of Jumpluff, obviously. And it's going to try to take these knockouts on the Omega Prime, on that's really actually the only EX, I think, in the deck, if I recall correctly. So it's going to try to take some cool knockouts that way, and just kind of get ahead on the prize race. I think that's what Jumpluff's aiming to do, and then Blaine's Last Resort's obviously going to do Blaine's Last Resort sort of things. Oh, excuse me. And try to take snipe knockouts, try to take cheap knockouts while doing other cool things, and avoid running into a situation where you're getting hexed out of game or turn. So that's really going to be it there. Nothing too special or surprising. But we see the Spirit Tomb start for myself, and Grady will play a Rosie's and then strike and run into the Spirit Tomb to get that full bench. A really rocket start for Blaine's Last Resort. The reason I went into the Prime is because I had the break ready to go, so that is wonderful. Still no energy attachment onto the Spirit Tomb, and that is actually one of the big problems of the deck, is that it doesn't have a lot of energies, so the Spirit Tomb starts can kind of slow it down. But the Karina turn 2 gets the Baltoy, and then the evolution rate into Claydol. So turn 2 pretty much set up, just kind of need a way out of the active, and if I can get that accomplished, then the correct number of cards in my hand, and we're good to go. I seriously have not been yawning all night, and the moment I start recording, I start yawning. How about that? But like I said, I just need a way to get out of the active. The AZ is the way, and it looks like I have 4 cards in hand after benching the Spirit Tomb, so that is going to set up for the knockout onto the Spirit Tomb. Now, really just gonna kind of, like I said, avoid this EX prize trade at some point. So if I can get if I can have Grady take the first couple knockouts on the non-prime non-prime Yon Mega, all the more better, right? Then I can, or at least take one more knockout before he can, because I want to stay ahead of the prize race. So for instance, like if I retreated into the Prime and attacked into him and took a knockout, and then he took a knockout on me, it'd be tied with my turn advantage. So I would be fine with that, and then when the Prime comes back out, and if it gets broken, then he can't one-shot me. But the Hex here is a big deal. It means I'm going to need to find that Slow King in a hand with no abilities. But remember, holy shit, I have that computer search from the Karina that I never ever played, so I do believe that it is still in my hand. So the Skylar should set this up. I should be able to get like an Ultra Ball or a Level Ball or some way to reduce my hand size. And it looks like it was a Skylar for Level Ball, and then computer search, Blend Energy, and a Gust of Wind. So we are going to be able to return KO the turn I get hexed. But we have this Gust of Wind, and I have to play it, right? So what do I take, the Porygon 2 or do I take the Claydol? I have to play it to get my hand size down. It's kind of an interesting little decision. So Gust of Wind goes for Porygon 2 instead. So the turn I Hex, I was able to get the Slow King out, no cards in hand, so I wasn't hurt too badly by the Hex. The energy attachment down to the Spirit Gem also helps, so I can retreat that if I need to. Oh boy. Okay. Cool. I promise I'll try not to yawn. I am... Wow. I thought I was, like I said, hadn't yawned all night, and then I start talking and I start yawning. So, What does Grady want to do here? I mean, obviously he's going to get a knockout some way back into me, by either attacking into the Slowking. If he's got some sort of way to goop and Lysander, he's got that Lapras, so he could be saving it for a Guzma or a Lysander onto the Yanmega Prime, because he knows if he takes one more knockout, he won't be able to one-shot the Prime and take 2 prizes. So, I believe he's trying to think of, okay, how can I Lysander, or how can I Hex and Lysander, how can I Gust of Wind and Lysander, how can I disrupt him and Lysander in the same turn? So, that's really what he's trying to look for here. A Teammates will come down, so that might be, honestly, for Goop and Gust, if he's thinking of trying to return KO somehow. Considering that I only have 1 card in hand, it would be a way for him to take 2 prizes and probably a third, considering that it would be very, very hard for me to get a return KO if that card in my hand was an unplayable card. And plus the one off the top deck, if it was the Goop Gust. So he goes Goop Gust, and then I would go, hopefully I can play these 2 cards to get the return KO and even the prizes up. He would still have turn advantage in that scenario. So the Teammates is probably the scariest thing, but we actually see a Swoop Teleporter going to go for Porygon, so he's actually going to be going for the Porygon 2 to get that back out, and he's just fine with taking the knockout on the Mega here. Or he might be taking the Omega knockout without gooping. That might be what he's trying to do with the Lapras. Oh, he takes the Lapras back after searching, so let's see what he actually pulls here. So there's the Gust of Wind, and the Lapras might just be for that Lysander or Guzma to be late for his second supporter. We shall see. Didn't get to see the card yet because of the camera angle, but we will probably get it in just a moment. He probably showed me just like flick the hand. No, it's actually going to be Karina for Goop. So maybe Lysander's prized, maybe Guzma's prized, maybe something like that. So he actually gets Goop and no Lysander, knowing that this Yanmega is not going to be able to take a knockout. So yeah, the Goop comes down, and then I will just come up and hit him for 10. So now the break is not within shot range. He cannot shot it without the aid of a Muscle Band, which he won't be able to play because of Spiritomb. So if he takes a Spiritomb knockout, the Omega will be 2-shot by the it will last those 2 prizes, and if I can find ways to max potion it, then it'll be okay. Just because Grady didn't take that Lysander 1-shot. Wally will go for the Hyco Soul Silver. The third Jumpluff is just useless in this matchup, obviously, because I don't have very many energies on the side of the field. Looks like Grady's got a whole bunch of items in the hand of his, and he will just take the knockout. So now I won't get 1-shot by the Jumpluff, and I have just the nuts here in my hand. How about that? Trying to find a way to get down to the number of cards in Grady's hand. I don't know how many he's got in his hand, but I'm sure that there's a way I can get to it. This deck actually kind of fairly easily gets to that point of the correct number of cards. The hand control is just bananas good in this deck. So this Ultra Ball might be looking for an Uxie. It also might be looking for a Yanma, just as kind of like a backup attacker. It also might be looking for Eradicate, to be honest. All those options are very, very viable here, depending on how many cards he's got in his hand. So that will be an Ultra Ball for the Lapras, so then that might be for, looks like it's going to be for Judge. Just going to go ahead and guarantee the same number of cards. Grady probably had a little too many in his hand, maybe. But regardless, I should be able to, if I can get into some sort of searching card off of this, then I can Unknown to draw back up to 4. It looks like I have a Peacom, which is the wrong searching card to get. Looks at that, I'm going to look at that discard, or that, yeah, this is a rough. So we are going to Pokemon Communication here. Looks like I will be for the Uxie. So I'm going to say to myself, hey, look, I might be able to just get right back down to 4 after I Uxie. I really need that Yama or that bench space, but I didn't get it. So I might just try to get it off of the Unknown. Let's see, so Floatstone, Lysander is the second supporter. I'm going to take the one that can actually do a little bit more damage and then knock it out with the Mega Breaks attack. So really here I just have to avoid getting my Mega knocked out. I I don't have any backup attackers, so I need to like. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough in the terms of like I need to get. I need to get away for that Slow King to come back out, or the Raticate to maybe come out and make an appearance. So just kind of scary in that regards if I just have no backup attacker, but I also know that Grady's going to struggle to knock me out. But we'll see. There's an expert belt in his hand. He might be willing to play that because, like I said, the prize trade is going to be very favorable here, especially since he'll take 2 prizes, and if I get a return KO, I'll take 2, but he pluses on that because he still has the turn advantage on his side. Like, he'll be attacking into me first, just based off the trade here. This is a very classic U150 game where no one snowballed here, but it's kind of teetering on this nice edge, like we're just vying for this mid-game supremacy to take control here. So, but there is the expert belt onto the Jumpluff, so that means that Grady will be hitting that 140 cap and taking 2 prizes. And it's gonna be very hard for me to get that return KO without the use. I mean, I need that Slow King back, so if I can get the Slow King back in some way, shape, or form, then we should be okay, because then I can get my hand down to 0 and knock him back out, and Grady will go down to 3 prizes with nothing on the field. So Grady looks like he's going to just take everything back. He's actually saying no, this is like not a good idea, because he says maybe I can Marley's into something. Just kind of double checking his options here. He might be looking at Marley's for a supporter, which is not usually seen. So he is going to play the dowsing machine. Let's see. Let's see what Grady actually ends up going for. He takes it back again. So he might be just saying, hey, look, Retriever now. So he will actually go for that play. Okay, and he's just changing what he's Marley'sing for, I guess. So it will be a Teammates and a Hex, which is awesome. I think I would let him take the Teammates. I think the Teammates is a little bit more important for him to take, because the Hex just shuts me down, especially since I will need to draw cards to get into that Slow King. If I had the Teammates in my discard pile, that might be one way of getting it. Let's look at that. Energy removal, blah, blah, blah. Maybe. Who knows? Grady goes and Teammates, and then attacks me and takes a 3-6 prize lead. And now I have to try to figure out a way to get this return KO. I will probably be needing to go for that Slow King. So, there's the draw for the turn. Maybe just use these unknowns a couple times to draw some more cards up. I might need a way to recover. So there's the first unknown. Don't see what I drew into. Just barely missed it. So I'm looking for versus secret targets, obviously. So I might go for Rosie's. It looks like I was hovering the Rosies, like Rosie's Skyla, and the Rosies for the other Slowpoke, and oh, that's actually kind of interesting that I went that route. So we'll see. We're just gonna reset this hand completely. Oh, looks like we're going for an Iris play. Even better. So there's a Rattata with no removal. So that's signaling to Grady, like, look, dog, like, we're gonna try here. We're gonna try for something. So shuffling him back in, I didn't see what I got, but Bebe Search will grab maybe Raticate? Yeah, we'll grab the Raticate. Just does 10 plus 50. I have a tool attached for free. So we are going to attach the tool there, and Iris 60 is enough, taking 2 prizes. So even if Grady had Hexed, if he had Hexed, I still would never be able to play Double Supporter and clear it off. So, but a little bit more HP. The Slow King is back in the deck now, so if I get Hexed, that's the way I go. That Versus Seeker is going to help. The Dual Ball will help as well. So we shall see. This game's getting down to the nitty-gritty. Grady's going to kind of struggle to get a knockout here, considering that his Jumpluff is only doing 60 damage. So he's going to need some form of Iris, some form of ways to do more damage, that sort of thing. So I believe, I don't remember if the Raticate is 100 HP. So he has his own Iris. He's coming right on back with that Iris play. Actually, very, very big. If Grady can get the... he has a Versus Secret in hand, so he might just Versus Secret for the Hex. In which case, I could come up and Uxie him. If you notice, I had the Energy Versus Secret in hand, so I might be able to just like triple Iris back to back to back. Just really showing the prowess. So that might, yeah, I think he's saying Versus Secret for Hex here. And he will take the knockout. And it looks like I'm going for that exact play like I said. Tool Ball, so it's double tails. We don't need that. So yeah, it will be the Iris back. Triple Iris in a row. Maybe? Maybe? Why am I hesitating on this? I think that's the play. So we're Pal Patting the Judge and the Shaman back in. Versus Secret for the, probably, like I said, the Iris. I think I'm just trying to set myself up for next turn with the Pal Pad. That was obviously the top deck. And yep, it will be the Iris. And we're going to push up this Lapras here. 2-2 in prizes. Jumpluff getting a little bit of a scare. He's going to need that Heart Gold Soul Silver one back out. It would have been really nice if I could have hit one of those heads on Dual Ball. If that had been the case, I would have had a slow poke, so then I could have tried to bounce Stadium. And if that had been the case, then Grady would have needed a Stadium to get this whole turn kicked off. So, Evo Soda onto the Hoppip. Maybe he's going to play something else first. But it will be to the Hoppip. You will be getting that Skiploom out. What's that one card in my hand? I remember seeing the Oak in the prizes, so that might be the thing. I see two cards Grady can instantly get rid of. A couple cards he might be able to just instantly get rid of that Jumpluff because that's not going to do damage. So I think that's like one of the first cards he'd get rid of. The Shaman as well. He doesn't want me marred. Two prizes being taken by me is just obviously game. So there's the Item Finder coming down. That might be for Versus Seeker, or it also might be for a Retriever because he failed the Evo Soda. So, yep, there's a Breeder, Rare Candy, all this other stuff. No cards in hand, and then there's a Knockout going into one prize. And then we'll Oak. Let's see if I can get a knockout. There is a Twins in my hand. So the Twins is going to be coming online. If I can just get down to some cards here. I unfortunately can't Hex him as well, because it will turn off the Omega. If I could get a Slowpoke, get down to 0 cards, and Hex, that's the ultimate goal here. So the Twins could come for like a Item Finder or Ultra Ball or some way just to really reduce the amount of cards in my hand and try to make this game close, because this game is just now bananas. So it looks like Mega Rescue Stretcher for the break. I'm opting for the 140. It's just a lot harder to hit. So where we go from here? Pokemon Catcher flips heads onto the Claydol. Now if we can just N. No, we don't want to N here. Maybe we're looking to N just so that I could if I already Claydol. I can't remember if I Claydol or not. But this is gonna... Oh, we're gonna Claydol first, maybe? Yeah, we're Claydoling first here. No N. N would have been the primary way. Here's the Muscle Band, looking just to get rid of cards so I can get down to 4. And there will be a knockout 1-1 in prizes. If Grady can... oh, it looks like he had a scoop up for the Guzma. Which, he actually can't retreat. He has got no way to retreat. I think this is where I said, like, why wouldn't you just promote Uxie and then do that? Because he could just promote Uxie and then Guzma. Here's me, because, like, I'm like, why don't you just grab Guzma? Because I'm looking through here, I'm like, man, Guzma must be prized. And he's like, no, it's right here. I think that's what this comes down to. And I say, look, just take it back and promote the Uxie, and then Guzma. You dummy. Yeah, dummy. Eventually we'll get to that conclusion here, because I'm just freaking out. You see him hovering the Guzma on the bottom of his deck. I think he's trying to find a way to retreat as well. So, we'll eventually come to that conclusion. Give it a sec, he can just retreat and then Guzma. He can literally just retreat and then Guzma. So, classic Grady taking forever on his turns. Time to start building a card tower. Oh boy. Let's see. Man, I got no further commentary because you see he's got game, right? Because 1, 2, 3, yeah, he's got enough Pokemon to knock out the Porygon. That's not the issue. It's literally just the retreat issue. He's thinking I can't retreat and knock him out, but like that's exactly what he can do. If that was Lysan, I'm not gonna. Never mind. Yeah. But no, I can't think of any other scenario. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes for the copycat. The Guzma's in his deck. He's getting a super rod, so he's obviously going for like. He's thinking that he needs to go for a copycat, and then hit the Guzma and an energy to retreat. So we'll see. I think he's playing the copycat now. Oh, so there it is. Yeah. So he showed me the Guzma in the deck. And I flipped over the junk arm. I was like, dude, the awesome was in here. Like, so yeah. Eventually, he just showed me. He's like, I'm going for Guzma, and I was like, what the hell, dude? Just retreat. So, but yeah, Jumpluff did take that one. Very, very close game. Really, really good game. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. We will see you next time.